What's up, co-reporters, and welcome back to my channel. Well, it looks like King Charles is getting the royal cold shoulder down under, and let's just say it's not exactly the warm welcome he'd probably been hoping for. When the king touches down in Australia next week, he'll be greeted by, well, not a single state leader. Yup, that's right. Zero, nada, nothing, zilch. All six state leaders have politely RSVP'd with the firm thanks, but no thanks to King Charles's invitation to greet him during his stay there, leaving monarchists in the country absolutely fuming. So, what are these state leaders so busy doing? Oh, just other commitments, for example, election campaigns, cabinet meetings, rearranging sock drawers, anything but showing up to shake hands with the king. It's the political equivalent of ghosting someone on a first date. Ouch. This has to be incredibly embarrassing for King Charles. Mind you, Australia absolutely loved and adored Princess Diana. They also loved and adored Meghan and Harry. And we see how King Charles and the rest of the family treated people that were so beloved to the Australians. Sure, the prime minister will be there with King Charles, likely doing his best to look enthusiastic. But when you've got the leaders of every single state saying, yeah, maybe another time, that's a pretty big snub, especially considering the fact that this is the first time in, I think, 11 or 13 years since a reigning monarch actually visited Australia. Even the premier of New South Wales, which is Australia's biggest state, basically said, catch you later, Charles. Maybe I'll swing by at another point during your trip. Australian Monarchist League, aka the last remaining squad of professional bootlickers, are out here desperately waving the Union Jack, practically begging for England to keep its colonial pinky finger wrapped around Australia. Bev MacArthur, a spokesperson for the organization, called the no-shows a, quote, slap in the face to the king, which is about as polite as she can get, while clearly biting her tongue. Quote, all premiers and ministers have sworn allegiance to our monarch Charles III, and it is a monumental insult that they now spit in his hand extended in friendship, she vented to Australian media. Girl, bye. Some people want to move forward and leave colonialism behind, even if, technically Australians are colonizing that island, but that's a story for another day. They want to cut their ties with England. Australia is still a constitutional monarchy with King Charles as its head of state, even if his role is largely symbolic. But the state leaders seem to be taking symbolic very seriously here, giving the king's symbolic handshake a symbolic thanks, but no thanks. Meanwhile, support for turning Australia into a republic is still split. Buckingham Palace, likely trying to avoid stirring the pot, issued a diplomatic response saying that whether Australia becomes a republic is, quote, a matter for the Australian public to decide. Anyway, you guys, let's see if this continues to accelerate Australia towards becoming a republic. More and more former British colonies are declaring themselves as republic these days. We saw a lot of that play out in the Caribbean last year during William and Kate's disastrous Caribbean tour. And I'm sure that more is to follow. In this day and age, people just do not really see the need for these, inflated, non-relevant, not important roles in people and jobs, namely like the royal family, the king, the queen, the prince, the princess. Why do they need to be paid billions upon billions of dollars to do quite literally nothing, right? Especially when these countries are all suffering financial crises. It just does not make sense to a logical person. Now, let's move on to the second royal topic of the day, which is that the royal family got caught advertising a house cleaning or a palace cleaning position for below the minimum wage. It looks like the royal family is back at it again, accidentally, quote unquote, advertising a housekeeping job at Windsor Castle for less than the UK minimum wage. Because if there's one thing the monarchy does well, it's ensuring they get the absolute most for the absolute least. They were offering a whopping £10.5 an hour, just 87 pence shy of what you'd legally need to make. Meanwhile, they're over there raking in billions for doing, well, less than the bare minimum themselves. The royal recruitment team must have been taking notes from their ancestors, trying to squeeze every last penny out of the common folk. But hey, at least they threw in some perks. 25 days of annual leave, a non-contributory pension plan, and most importantly, the privilege of scrubbing royal toilets across several palaces. And if you're lucky, you might even get to travel with them while dusting off their priceless antiques, because nothing screams luxury like a working holiday where you're still underpaid. But don't worry about that original salary listing, though. It was an error. Right, because the monarchy has such a great track record with paying their staff generously. Listen, this isn't the first time they've been caught with their crown jewels in a financial faux pas. Seems like doing the bare minimum is their unofficial family motto. But rest assured, you'll be learning professional skills while they master the art of looking busy doing absolutely nothing. Let me know what you think about these stories in the comment section down below, you guys. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more royal news, pop cultural news, and reality TV recaps. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.